Chapter 5 of Rethinking Scoliosis: The Genetic Code of Curves. Every human body carries a massive instruction manual written in 4 chemical letters: A, T, C, and G. And when scientists flip to the pages that guide spine growth, they see that some sentences read a little differently in people who develop scoliosis. So this chapter unpacks what those tiny spelling quirks mean and how spotting them early can change a child's future. Think of genes as recipe cards. Each one tells the body how to bake proteins that shape bones, ligaments, nerves, and hormones. When a single letter on a card is swapped, the recipe still works, but the cake may rise too fast, slump too low, or break apart later. In scoliosis, several key recipes show such swaps. One well-studied gene is MTHFR, which stands for methylene tetrahydrofolate reductase, a long name for an enzyme that turns basic folate from food into the active form that cells need to build DNA, repair bone, and make neurotransmitters. A common variant called C677T slows this enzyme by up to 70%, leaving a shortfall of methylfolate that weakens collagen crosslinks in vertebrae and lowers serotonin levels that steady postural muscles. Another gene, VDR, encodes the vitamin D receptor. When a variant like this is present, the body needs higher vitamin D levels to switch on bone-building cells. So children with this version may pour plenty of milk, yet still carry softer vertebrae that bend under everyday forces. COMT, or catechol O-methyltransferase, breaks down estrogen-like chemicals and stress messengers such as dopamine and norepinephrine. The Val158 MET variant makes COMT sluggish, causing waves of hormonal chatter that tell growth plates to stretch unevenly, which explains why curves can leap forward during puberty. This layered effect is why scoliosis often runs in families yet shows up differently between siblings. One sister might inherit a slow MTHFR and weak VDR combo and hit 40 degrees by age 12, while her brother shares only the MTHFR issue and stays below 15 degrees for life. Modern labs can now scan dozens of these variants with a simple saliva or cheek swab kit, producing a polygenic profile that determines how many curve-pushing signals are baked into a child's DNA. Armed with this information, clinicians no longer have to wait for the Cobb angle to hit the bracing line. They can start protective steps when the curve is only 10 degrees, or even before any bend appears. Early action might include switching standard folic acid vitamins to methylfolate, adding vitamin D3 with K2 to raise bone mineral density, or using magnesium glycinate to calm overfiring nerves in kids with COMT variants linked to high norepinephrine. Families can also fine-tune diet. Leafy greens, beans, and citrus feed the MTHFR pathway. Wild salmon and egg yolks boost vitamin D, and pumpkin seeds supply zinc that weave sturdy bone collagen. Because genes set thresholds, but life tips the balance, lifestyle tweaks matter too. For instance, children with VDR variants should play outdoors daily to soak up sunlight that converts skin cholesterol into vitamin D3. And kids with COMT slowdowns may benefit from specific supplementation, cutting the chemical chatter that pulls vertebrae sideways. Exercise choices can echo genetics as well. Core reflex drills and balance board training strengthen the neuromuscular control, while light resistance suits engage deep spinal stabilizers, without the compression that weak bones from VDR issues might not tolerate. It is also important to discuss melatonin pathway genes, which regulate nighttime bone repair. Teens with sluggish melatonin clearance often show bigger curves, so clinicians may check overnight saliva or sleep habits and suggest darker bedrooms or gentle melatonin drops to restore the circadian rhythm that guides bone remodeling. Importantly, genetic screening is not a crystal ball, but a roadmap filled with caution signs and detours. A high-risk score means watch closely, test strategically, and act early, not panic. Parents can learn practical tips. Store DNA kits at room temperature. Avoid food 30 minutes before swabbing. And mail samples early in the week to prevent weekend delays that could degrade DNA. Once results return, a genetic counselor or functional medicine doctor reviews the report and builds a personalized plan of nutrient doses, and imaging only if posture apps detect tilt changes. This proactive plan cuts radiation exposure and reduces the emotional weight of watch and wait visits, because families feel they are steering the ship instead of drifting. A short case study of Maya, a 10-year-old who inherited both COMT and VDR variants from her mom. Maya started core reflex exercises, took a chewable vitamin D3 K2 gummy, and a COMT support supplement. 2 years later, her curve held at 12 degrees, and she never needed bracing, illustrating how DNA knowledge can rewrite the usual script. Let's circle back to the big picture. Genes load the gun, environment pulls the trigger, and personalized care disarms it. Just as architects check soil samples before building a bridge, modern clinicians must study a child's genomic soil before prescribing braces, exercises, or surgery. By merging DNA clues with neurotransmitter panels, hormone charts, and metabolic screens, healthcare teams can spot the earliest whispers of imbalance and intervene long before a curved shadow darkens an X-ray. The takeaway is clear. Scoliosis may still look like a bone problem on the surface, but its deepest roots wind through the double helix of DNA, and learning to read that code turns fear into foresight, helping every child stand taller, not by force, but by understanding.